All right, and we are live. And let's go ahead and sync our audios.
Okay, ready?
Okay, counting down. If I can find the screen. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to episode 143. This episode 2 is we talk about This Makes 7, recasting, and Anton has diamond hands. I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong.
Anton, how was your Super Bowl weekend?
Oh man. Let's see. I was I got everything that I wanted to eat, which I was really happy with. I got some shrimp cocktail. I got some boneless wings. I mean, I'd rather have bone wings, but I just grabbed whatever I could, and it was boneless. And I think I got some Tostitos pizza rolls. It's been a while since I had those. I know one of our friends, Carlos, is obsessed with Tostinos.
Ever since not kindergarten, elementary school. That's been this thing.
Yeah. It's good. I mean, it's the most delicious with some sriracha on the side.
I have never even thought of that combination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I had a good Super Bowl. It was just me and Martha. We were just watching it at our house, and because I mean, really, she's still new to football. She doesn't really understand everything that's going on. To her, it's just a lot of chaos on the field.
Yeah.
But she did enjoy the commercials, the players' profiles, and stuff like that. And I explained to her some of the stuff going on with the NFL and with the players and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good time. Not the most exciting game, I don't think.
No. Not the most exciting game for me either. Man, okay. So let's just put it all on the table here. KC is very inexperienced.
It's not even that.
Yeah.
I think they crap the bed royally. I feel so
I've never
bad
seen
for
so many
Mahomes.
flags, like this much flags in a game in a long time.
The offense was not prepared. They made a lot of rookie mistakes. Mahomes was doing everything he could, but I mean, he had nobody was blocking for him. He literally every single play, it felt like he just had no time to think. He just had to throw the ball, get rid of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's really good at throwing the ball. Like when he had to, we can see it too. Like he's stressing out.
Yeah,
like, he's trying to find a person that's open.
Yeah. Nothing like him like lunging sideways, still managing to throw the ball midair.
Yeah,
it hits the receiver in the face, and it doesn't get caught.
Yeah,
like it was a great throw. Like if it would have been caught, that'd been an amazing play. And I say at least 3 times, the ball hit the receiver in the face. 2 of those times I think would have been touchdowns.
I totally believe that. Also, it's kind of frustrating to watch. Like even the first half of the Super Bowl game, like I was really rooting for KC because I mean, you know, they're a younger team. They need that they need that win. You know, like we already know Tom Brady is as great of a legend he is. I think he should just retire and just give other people a chance, you know.
And I think that's what everybody wanted this game. It was supposed to be, you know, a battle of the old goat and against the new goat. And it just didn't come out to that. Everyone, you know, it was expected to be a handoff or something bigger than it was. And it just wasn't.
Yeah.
That being said, even though there was limited commercials because of advertising was so lacking this year, anything that stuck out to you commercial wise?
Yeah, there was this 5 seconds of Reddit.
Okay, I missed this one.
Yeah,
I missed this one, but I did hear stuff about it. What was it? Was it just Reddit trolling, or what was it?
I think you know, the guys on Reddit, they were able to set aside some money from the GameStop thing, and then they didn't really think that they were gonna get the ad approved. But basically, like it just showed like a 5 second clip. The first second was like a car commercial, like like how they usually have car commercials during the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets glitchy, and then all of a sudden Reddit screen pops up, kind of like those testing screen, and then you see a
Mm-hmm.
Reddit logo, and then you see like a regular Reddit post with the
Yeah.
upvote and everything, and it says, "Oh my
Yeah.
God, it actually works! We did it, guys!" And then it talks about like because of the community, we're able to have 5 seconds because it's so expensive. Yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
whole like thread about like how they're able to get this and what it means to the community, how important it is, because as a
Yeah, that's a big
community together,
flex.
we're able to have an ad on the Super Bowl. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see here. Cost for a 30-second time slot on Reddit, on Reddit on during the Super Bowl, would have been 5.6 million for
Hmm.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
Was it really that short, or was it 30-second ad?
it was 5 seconds.
It was
Literally
five
just
seconds.
five
So
seconds.
so
Yeah.
probably just like $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's $1 million. Can we get 5 seconds?
Yeah.
That's funny. But again, I don't think they would have doubted getting that time slot, because if not, it would have just probably gone towards regular advertising, or
Yeah.
the sports talk people would have taken it over.
So the thing I've
Um,
noticed that during the Super Bowl, they really pushed for Paramount Plus, and I know it's because of
yes,
CBS. Yeah, so
yeah,
CBS is really pushing for that. And I was looking at the list of stuff that they're, I mean, Viacom CBS, right? They own
yeah.
a lot of
It's
properties.
Paramount. It's I think Comedy Central, Nickelodeon,
Hmm.
CBS. I'm blanking on some more, but
MTV.
it's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, MTV, of
Yeah.
course, Beavis and
Hmm.
Butthead.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just a lot of stuff, and I think that is the better way to go, because like I said, CBS, while I did love the Star Trek series, Star Trek Discovery, and I wanted to check out that new one, it's not worth the money just for two shows.
Yeah.
So but Paramount, I mean, similar to Discovery Plus, I wouldn't be, I'm pretty sure I'd be pleasantly surprised with the amount of content they have.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah. So I think another ad that really pulls me forward to going, oh hey, okay, is Fast Nine. Like, I mean, we already know that Fast Nine was supposed to come out last year,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean that little 30-second teaser trailer kind of hooked me in. I still want to see it. I'm still excited to see it. I was
Excellent.
expecting to see like more like AAA titles, something like The Matrix
No, we gotta.
4 or like
No,
Mortal
no,
Kombat.
we got an M. Night Shyamalan trailer. That's what we got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it old?
Hmm.
I know and it's funny because you really don't see this that often, but they did replay a lot of the commercials, a lot.
Hmm.
Like I saw the Drake from State Farm commercial
Yeah.
at least 10 times.
Yeah.
I doubt that State Farm paid that much for advertisement. Um, I didn't. I'm trying to think what else caught my attention. I thought the Bud Light commercial was a nice touch. A little bit old at this point, but their little end game, what you call it, ode to end game was kind of cool,
Hmm.
where all the past advertisements or commercial people teleported through in a blue portal,
Yeah.
and they all join forces to fix the Bud Light truck.
Yeah. Very, very original.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then also like the Cheetos commercial with Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher
Hmm.
featuring Shaggy.
Shage. Shage.
Like, it wasn't me. And Shaggy's like, that's probably the first time that's worked.
Yeah. So this year, Super Bowl was kind of a letdown. I
Yeah,
just hope that next year is going to be a little bit better. I mean, the game was kind of. I think probably by the third quarter, I'm like,
I
there's no way. I mean,
I
in the
I
past we
turned
saw
to
like the
Mario.
Falcons against the Patriots, right?
Oh, that's a great comeback.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
that
really
was a
great
great
comeback.
comeback.
Hmm.
It
But
was
not
no,
this
it
one.
was Falcons and Eagles, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was a great comment. I was really hoping that Mahomes would come back the second half, and we could come back, good old pep talk, which they've done in the past.
Hmm.
Chiefs have made a comeback in the past, but when they came back, and I was like, okay, we're halfway through the third quarter. It's the same crap all over again. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I almost told Martha, I'm like, you want to watch something else? If it wasn't for the commercials, I really think I would have just switched off to something else.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the halftime show?
I kind of enjoyed the weekend. I thought it was good. It's funny because a lot of people were like, "Oh, how come J Lo and Shakira didn't come back for the Super Bowl halftime?" And then they're like, "Oh, wait, because it's the weekend. They don't work on the weekends."
Wow. Terrible. No, I mean, the Weeknd's a good performer. I just felt he wasn't bringing the party. It was epic.
He's not.
It was
Yeah.
a lot of lights, a lot of production,
Mm-hmm.
but all his songs are very low tempo.
Yeah,
They're
that's what I was
catchy,
gonna
but low
say.
tempo.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. He's more of a serious.
Set the
Like
mood.
his songs are more about emotions than like partying. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Set the mood.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the songs were about like Selena Gomez and stuff. So it's a little emotional.
Yeah. And just so weird that he's still trying to do the whole wrap bandages on the face thing. I let it go, dude. Like you're trying so hard. No. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that Super Bowl. Just not the best. I kind of lost attention there for a second.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, there's one more thing I wanted to ask you before we get started with the show.
Okay.
Did your dad buy a Vespa?
Vespa? No, it's an electric bike.
It looks like a Vespa.
Yeah, it's kind of popular right now. Like a lot of people in Venice Beach and Huntington Beach, a lot of people actually ride those, and
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why my dad got one of those electric bikes. It looks more like a moped with like a little thing on the back. Yeah, it's starting to be a really popular thing, I guess, on the West Coast. I see a couple of my friends that live in Hawthorne. You know, remember that guy that we lined up at Howie's Game Shack to get the monsters?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think his name is Long. Him and his boys, like they have like jackets and with their kind of like biker gang, you know,
crew. Oh,
yeah, their
God.
own crew. So they ride down.
They're slightly below the people at Disney that go with their jackets or with their vests.
Yeah. So I guess they ride down like between like Venice Beach and Santa Monica. So I think I've seen them go all the way down to like Long Beach, which is pretty far. But yeah, kind of. I guess it's kind of like a new hobby because COVID and stuff, you know. So
Yeah. Because I was just driving by the park and I was like, oh, this guy's just driving a little Vespa. Wait a minute, is that Anton's dad?
Yeah.
Because okay, this could just be my imagination, but I swear his helmet had goggles. But that could just be my false memory.
He has glasses, so like.
Okay, maybe that's what I'm seeing.
No. I think he's wearing goggles to protect his eyes because it's pretty sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, props to him. He's like, I swear, like every other month he has a new vehicle.
I think he has a scooter, electric bike, and then he also got my mom an electric bike too, I think. Yeah. So I think they go like every other day or something. They go super early in the morning, so it's not too crowded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just to get some fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Anton, ready to get the show started with some headlines?
All right, let's go ahead and get into headline news.
All right. The biggest headline that happened after our last episode was the GameStop price uppage. They saw the great, what was it called? The Wall Street Bets?
Yeah, Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets on Reddit. One person started buying into the GameStop because they noticed this brokerage firm was, not brokerage, hedge fund firm.
Yep.
Was trying to short the GameStop stock. And for those that don't know what shorting is, for those that were confused when watching the end of what was it? The freaking Eddie Murphy movie. Switching Places.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Trading Places. Trading
yeah,
Places. Trading
trading
Places.
places.
They didn't understand the end of Trading Places. Shorting pretty much means that they are betting that the stock is going to continue to go down and or the company's going to go out of business. What they do is a hedge fund would borrow the stock. Oh God, you had the freaking logo ready. Would borrow the stock from somebody that owns GameStop stock, and then bet that the stock is going to go down. Once it does go down, they will sell. They will buy back that stock and then give it back to the person that they borrowed it from. I
Yeah.
don't exactly know what the other person gets that they're borrowing it from. I'm sure they get some sort of like the time that they're using the stock for or something.
So
They compensation somehow.
yeah, so basically, there's a cut that the brokerage gets, and then
Yeah.
there is the portion that is reserved for the other person. So basically, for example,
So they're splitting
there's
the difference or what?
yeah. So basically, before you even do anything, there's different contracts that you can choose from. So you can choose, like, let's say the lowest would be like 50 cents per share. So let's say you buy 100 shares that are 50 cents. So that means you get $50.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, you get $50.
Okay.
If you lose $50, and that $50 goes to that other person. So in a way, it's kind of like betting.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Well,
But you have to bet and take at the buy-in price of the market. So if it's really high, that means you're going to have to pay a ridiculous amount of money. But that's only like if you're betting like really high. If you're betting like 50 cents, you're only going to lose 50 cents. And the thing about these
yeah.
hedge funds is they're shorting like at a really high price because they get a bigger
Yeah.
bigger
They do it in
turnaround.
high volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's what happened here. So one person on Reddit or a couple people on Reddit saw that this brokerage firm was trying to short GameStop by a lot. So they bought into it.
mhm.
And that kind of raised up the price. But because they started raising up the price, that meant that the hedge fund had to minimize its losses by buying back that stock to make sure they don't lose, billions, which they still ended up losing a crap load of money out of this. And because they bought that stock back, that continued to raise up the price of GameStop stock, and it just skyrocketed. It went from like I believe like $6 or $8 up to I think 400. At one point, it was like at four something.
Yeah, 420.
Yeah.
But the thing, but the crazy thing is, it would have gone up a lot more. But what happened was the next day, Robinhood, which is one of the biggest amount of accounts, because the Robinhood app gives you no fees for trading. It's kind of like they're the only thing that they're trying to profit off of you is selling your data. That's the only reason why they're doing free trading.
They do other stuff too. So they get because I looked into this before I started investing into to Robinhood or through Robinhood. One, they make money off of the money sitting in your portfolio, not the uninvested money, the investable money. And then also what they do too is there is a 2-day settlement time. So in the background for us, it might be immediate stock trading, but really in the background, they still have to settle up between the Robinhood and whoever is selling the stock. It could be another brokerage firm. It could be Robinhood themselves.
Yeah. But
they have to
just
do the settlement. But the thing is, the if you bought it at a certain price, it might be a difference of a penny or two the next day or whenever the settled up.
fraction. It's called fraction trading.
Yeah, so then they pocket the difference. Robinhood pockets the difference, and then you get your stock at the price that you bought it for. Everybody's happy, whatever. So they do have other ways of making money, but it's all based on large volumes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing that Robinhood introduced into the stock market world is doing selling stocks at fractions. So yeah, so that's kind of like a great thing for a lot of people who can't buy like they
1,000
can only they
stocks
can't
or
buy
whatever.
thousands of stock. They can only buy like half, or they can a good example would be like, let's say Tesla is worth like 800 right now, but you only have half of that, so you get half of a share. But stuff like that. But yeah, originally, like, let's say if you were to open up an account, it's free. The only thing is that you have to link up your bank account to get into it, and then start trading. They do offer margin. They do offer like a gold account where you get like margin limits where you can borrow money from them.
Yeah. But now you're really getting into the weeds of that stuff, and that's where people get into trouble.
Yeah. So but the cool thing about Robinhood that I really liked is if you were to play with margins, for example, you're not really gonna lose like your house or anything like that, because they only let you do margin if you put if you have enough money in the account to play margins. It's basically like, hey, do you have money to cover your own ass? If you don't, we're not gonna let you borrow.
It's a secured loan, pretty much. But it's still dangerous though, because people are putting they are putting their life savings into their account to play margins, which is still similar to them just investing the money. But I think where you were getting at was that they got a lot of backlash when they were not allowing people to continue to buy the GameStop stock, and also the kind of ripple effect was also AMC stock started going up, and AMC you couldn't buy any more stock after I think like the second day or third day.
Yeah, so I think we were shooting for the moon, which they're aiming for. The meme was like $5,000 worth. But I mean, realistically, I thought it was only going to go up to like 1,000 before it start to like trickle down. But the next day when Robinhood restricted any of the stocks to be sold, not sold, bought, nobody was able to buy anything the next day on there. And most of the people who were investing in GameStop stocks were on Robinhood. They don't have any other account. A lot of people who have been trading for a very long time, they have like Fidelity, they have TD Trade, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade. So they're able to jump back and forth between the platforms. But the thing is that, like, I think probably like I'd say more than 60 to 70% of the people that bought GameStop was on Robinhood. So because of that, nobody was able to buy anything. So I think what the hedge funds started to do was they were starting to do a thing called what is it? Something ladder. I just blanked out on that one. There's a term for it, but attack ladder. So they had like a bunch of like things where they were trying to sell shorts to a company that is affiliated with them, and then they're buying it back from that other company. So they're trying to lower the price by saying, oh yeah, it's going to go down. But there's this long ladder, and all they're doing is just recycling the money. So it totally started tanking like crazy. But I mean, people were still holding. So I think that's why, it's kind of steady. It's not shooting all the way down to like, under $20 when it first started, the whole thing. So right now, I think it's still steady. A lot of people still believe that, GameStop will probably go up. But the thing is that you don't really know. But at the end of the day, this is pretty much the question. Are the people that are doing this together, are they in it for the money, or are they in it for the movement?
They're in it for the money. Because, okay, look, the only people who are still pushing this right now, and outside of Reddit, are the people that are in it for the money. Everybody else has cashed out. The hedge funds have cashed out already because they got their, the price did go up, so they were able to sell what they could.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I understand the shadiness behind there's possible conflict of interest with Robinhood and some of the brokerage firms that were involved in this, but it's kind of weird that Robinhood was the one that got the most backlash for not being able to fulfill buying orders when TD and E Trade were also in the same boat of not being able to buy at that time as well.
A lot of people were talking about like they don't have a third party clearinghouse. They clear everything in house.
But
And the
still,
problem
that's
with that is they have so many transactions, and it's hard for a company this small. I mean, I don't think they're small, but they consider themselves as small because they're new players. I think they have too much pride to say that they can't handle that much pressure. Robinhood. I don't think they have. I don't think they have the capacity.
No, they admitted it. That was the thing on the application when you try to make a purchase, like they can't fulfill right now, or whatever. They're backed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying though, like TD and E Trade also were not allowing for purchases of GameStop or AMC stock
Mm-hmm.
during this time period. But it seemed like everybody was focusing on Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know that there could be some
No, like
conflict.
some of the other firms, some of the other trading platforms, they restricted, but I mean, people were still able to buy at a certain amount. For Robinhood, you weren't able to buy at all. Like it.
From what I saw, TD was blocking it for at least a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm sure like after like the next day or whatever, they're able to start fulfilling some orders, but for at least a day they were blocking it. But yeah, it's not really a movement because I get it. They were trying to, or they're saying they were trying to stick it to the man or whatever. But when you're buying a large volume like this, you are the man.
Yeah.
Especially one of the main Reddit guys that's still trying to get likes for investments. I'll still get notifications from Reddit from the guy saying if this post gets 1,000 likes, I will invest another 10,000 into
That's the reason why a lot of the
GameStop.
mods started to clean that up, because that's
But it's the main guy, or it was one of the main guys.
yeah.
Um,
Oh,
but
did
yeah,
you hear about the whole Reddit moderators? Like the old moderators. What? I'm sorry.
they shut it down, or not shut it down, but they made it private, or what they do?
Yeah, yeah. So the reason why they had to make it private is because they had to clean up the moderators, because some of the moderators haven't been there for a very long time. The founders of the whole Reddit group, like they just left it there, and then other moderators were running it. The people that knew what to do and knew the right thing to do, and they were the old moderators came back and they tried to take credit for it. They tried to make Hollywood deals. They tried to make like
Yeah, that's the other thing too. We didn't put it into the notes, but they're within a day of the news of this happening. Like this happened one day. The next morning, I had the news alert saying that the movie rights has already been sold.
See, it's kind of stupid. That's the reason why some of the moderators are like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! This is not cool. What are these moderators doing? They're trying to profit of what's going on right now." And like they had this whole feud of different moderators trying to fight for the subreddit. And some of the moderators who were doing their job, they were doing such a good job. Like they were trying to get rid of the posts of people saying stuff like what you were talking about earlier, where, oh, hey, if you get this much for my post, then I will buy like $1 million worth of the stock or whatever. Stuff like that they were trying to delete, because it shouldn't be done that way. That's not cool.
That is manipulating for personal gain. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because I think the next day, because I mean all these news people were trying, like news networks were trying to get subject matter experts or people that were involved to do interviews or to explain what exactly was happening. And ABC does a podcast every morning called Start Here. I think it was
Mhm.
like a 30-minute news update podcast or whatever. And I kind of rolled my eyes because the person they were interviewing was the guy that started the Wall Street Bets subreddit, but he went from being like, let me be really clear, I haven't been involved in that subreddit in years or blah blah blah, but he's still talking like he was involved. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways, dude. You can't try to act like you started this movement, but
Hmm.
also try to distance yourself from it.
Yeah. So, the thing about this subreddit is there are people that are doing the right thing, and then there's people that are trying to take advantage of the whole thing.
You mean
And,
all the people that are all of a sudden professionals
yeah.
and are providing like, this is the next stock right here. This one right here. Everybody focus on this one.
So I've been, a subscriber to this subreddit for a very long time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say long time, but I started like, last year when the whole market kind of crashed because of COVID.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was, just looking to see how much people were losing money on online. And that's what this subreddit was for. It was originally for people to share that they made a
How
bet
screwed
and
over they
how
got.
stupid, retarded it is. I mean, I don't want to say that term, but that's the term that they use on the subreddit. Is like how retarded you are to buy a large amount of money of stock. And yeah, people usually post how much they lose on this one. That's
Yeah, because
what the subreddit was for.
even before all this chaos that happened, uh, people day trading became very popular for the novice investor. Uh, say early last year, like I said, because of COVID. And
Mm-hmm.
that's because people had more time on their hands. They weren't able to go out as much. They might have had some extra money, or they might have gotten their stimulus check and they wanted to invest it somehow or whatever.
Yeah, true.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and you have all these like college students that aren't really savvy when it comes to investing. They're tech savvy because they know how to find the app and how to do the trades,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't really understand how the stocks work or what it was. They kind of treat it like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like all these horror stories of like uh not teenagers, but like, young people in their 20s uh investing $10,000, like their entire life savings
Yeah.
in something, not understanding what they're doing, and then losing that money, and just kind of or investing their family's money
Mm-hmm.
and then screwing them over financially, stuff like that. It was terrible, dude. Like it's some bad stories. So I get why there's like some stories in there that they'd want to share on subreddits,
Mm-hmm.
but now it's kind of turned into the image that they're portraying is that they are savvy investors.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
At
So
least for right now.
anyways,
At least for right now, because it was going on with AMC, so they're trying to like make it seem like they know what's going on, that they're in the right and they know what the stock market should do.
so the thing that caught my attention for this subreddit was the reason of Tesla. Tesla
Mm-hmm.
stock got what they deserved because of this subreddit, because they supported his stock because of the whole shorting, because the hedge
Oh, yeah,
funds
yeah,
shorted.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah,
hedge fund
yeah. That
shorted Tesla stock, and it kind of went out of hand. And even Elon was like tweeting about it. He wasn't happy with it. And this subreddit was the one that
well, no, because Elon
pushed.
gets in trouble for tweeting stuff about the stock,
Yeah,
but yet they screw him over.
yeah. So this subreddit was one of the first groups that supported his whole movement thing for Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the reason why I joined this subreddit, is because like these people are empowering the movement of doing the right thing, trying to get those hedge funds to
But
pull back. Yeah. So since last summer, I keep seeing people on the subreddit talking about like, oh, buy GameStop, buy GameStop. I'm like thinking in my head, why would you buy GameStop? Like they're their company's dying. They don't treat their employees right. The people who work there
And it's
are
just that, and it's an old business model. It doesn't work
yeah,
anymore.
yeah, exactly. And like systems are eventually going to move to digital downloads only. There's
Like
going to be no
Stadia.
more disc.
Stadia is their biggest
Yeah,
enemy right now.
yeah. So stuff like that, like I was like, why are we investing in this? And everyone's really pushing it on this subreddit. So I avoided that, and I looked into like other things that people were talking about on there, like BlackBerry, Palantir, um, and what was that other company? Neo, which is a electric car company.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they actually had some good ideas and good like people actually write essays on here, which I kind of like. That's the whole
They
reason
actually
why
explain them. They're not just toting it out there.
yeah. So that's the only reason why I kept on the subreddit. And and I never took the GameStop thing seriously, but I did take like BlackBerry seriously. I bought some of that, and I think I'm doing pretty well. Like I'm actually in the positive, and I'm really happy with some of the stuff that these guys did on there. But yeah, this whole GameStop thing, I don't know, dude. It's still playing out.
Well, I think there might be another bump in the near future, but I think this is pretty much the end of it. Because like you were saying that they're trying to do the right thing, but the thing is, while trying to do the right thing, they're also screwing over a lot of other companies. They're creating chaos in an ecosystem that's supposed to be very stable. Any little change can cause a ripple effect. So the GameStop stock going over way more than the company's worth just through other investments out. Like it might be funny to screw over one hedge fund, but you're screwing over a lot more people from that ripple effect, and I think that's where the danger is. And why I think that it took at least a week for the stock market to kind of get its footing back.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, yeah, there's always good and bad things about everything that goes on during the stock market, but a lot of people's passion is let the little guys survive a little bit, let them go out in peace. Like for example, like Blockbuster, a lot of hedge funds basically tried to take out the company as fast as they could. Yeah, I mean,
you think Blockbuster was worth staying around?
No, but I mean, let them die in peace, and instead of like shorting the fuck out of like their stock and profiting.
I agree. I feel shorting is. I'm more of the traditional investor. I invest in what I believe in and what I actually would spend my money on, and what I do spend my money on, and what I know. I think shorting is kind of a dirty way to. Yes, you're still playing in the same world, but it's still kind of a sketchy way to do it, especially when it comes to the whole marketing contracts.
I don't mind shorting like big companies. I mean, if it's a stable company,
what defines big?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense for people to short those type of companies because they're already successful, and that's not where the money's at. The money's at is where you short like companies are. I guess the rules are kind of like.
Well, no, but that's the thing though. That's for them. That's a safe bet. GameStop going away is not something that's being created. That is something that the company has floundered for the last 5-6 years, even longer than if you count how they treat their employees and how they treat their customers. But because they were the go-to thing since I think Electronic Boutique got bought out, or just the name change.
No, I think it was
it was a buyout, right?
Yeah, it was a buyout.
Yeah, everything ever since like GameStop became the go-to place that's like standalone for gamers, for stuff like that. They made exclusive deals. Ever since then, like they've already been pissing off customers and stuff like that, but they didn't care because they were the one place to go to that unless you wanted to go to a GameStop, a Best Buy or Target, but you weren't going to get those exclusives, you weren't going to get those midnight releases. But I mean now we're going disc free, where nobody really cares about trading in that much anymore. At least they don't want to get their dollar for a $60 game.
Yeah. So let's be clear. Let's be completely clear. We're not any financial advisor. This is
Yes.
not financial advice.
These are
That's
our
a given.
perspectives. We're not
Yeah.
giving stock advice. This is just our opinions
Hmm.
on GameStop and what's happening.
Okay.
Uh
So that's enough. Let's move on to our next headline news here.
oh, hold on, quick question.
Okay.
You switched over to TD?
I switch over to Fidelity, but I also
Fidelity.
have a TD account too.
Out of those two, which ones do you prefer? And this is from personal information. Which tools do you prefer? Or are they both about the same?
I yes and no. I mean, I've in my family we've always used TD, but
It's
of
a
course we
dog.
have other accounts too. Fidelity is
Yeah.
great. Um, if I had to choose, I would just choose E Trade, but I personal accounts I never opened one.
Yeah.
But I kind of like Fidelity. You know, some of the stuff that they have. I use their active trading
Hmm.
pro a lot. It's a really cool platform that saves all of your setups,
Yeah.
your screens, your graphs, and everything's on there. And then you can also trade on there too, which a lot of the other platforms don't do it. They just do like a third party chart thing, and then you have to go onto the site to trade. So
Uh,
and then the app wise isn't that great, but I mean it only does its function, which is to buy and trade. And then if you want to do some of the other technical stuff, I'd rather do it on the website instead of the app. So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Just wondering. All right,
Mhm.
Anton. What else do we have in here?
Okay, so I guess in Universal Studios Osaka, Japan, they just recently soft open and preview Super Nintendo World. And we talked about this a couple of times before, where
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
they have the Mario Kart ride,
Mm-hmm.
they have a Yoshi ride, they have some um, other cool things. I think like you can walk around the whole entire land with like a little wristband, and you could hit those question mark blocks to get coins and all that stuff, and it interacts with the app that you have on your phone too. So anyways, yeah, so basically the whole world's kind of like a video game.
Yeah.
And we were able to see what the Mario Kart ride looks like. And for a while, we know that it is augmented reality
Mm-hmm.
infused. So it's a regular dark ride with new technology, augmented reality glasses. So when you first enter into the ride, they give you like a little visor that you adjust
Mm-hmm.
on your head. It's kind of like a little hat that you have on here. As soon as you sit down on the ride, it's a Mario Kart. It says M on it. You have visors in front of you. I mean, glasses in front of you that you hook into your headband that you just put on.
Uh-huh.
So as you ride the ride, those augmented glasses are projecting the characters. So you look around, like it kind of looks like VR, but it's not, because it has a clear glass, so you can see
Yeah. It's
around
augmented.
you. Yeah.
Augmented reality. Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of hard to see what it really looks like, because they put a camera on the side to record everything.
Mm-hmm.
But from what people say, they said you might like it, you might not like it. It's the gimmick is there. You understand what's going on, but sometimes it kind of takes you out of the reality of it. Like it doesn't feel real to you yet.
It almost feels like they're describing those like early virtual reality games where
Hmm.
like yes, you were technically in a virtual reality, but you knew you were in a virtual reality. Like it's still like very uh not stick figures, but like sharp corners, like it's not really real rendered. You're obviously wearing a headset. You know, it's not as immersive as people would hope it would be, but
Yeah.
you appreciate it.
Yeah. So other than that, like they have some really, really, really cool things going on in that area of the park. They also have a restaurant that have really nice themed foods. And I think that's kind of like a trend now. Like whenever any of the parks open up a new section, the theme stuff is actually really, really detailed and tastes good too. I think my favorite by far would probably be like, the Harry Potter stuff where you get to go in and you get to try like butterbeer. You get to eat like shepherd's pie and stuff like that.
By the way,
yeah,
I can't wait for COVID to be over because I'm gonna go visit you, and I want to take Martha to Universal Studios. We finished watching all the Harry Potter movies because she's never seen them before.
Okay.
And now she's into it, and I tried to explain to her how immersive the Diagon Alley is.
Yeah.
And I think she understands, but it's definitely something I want her to experience too. Like,
it's
even
exciting.
just the wall transition.
Yeah. Okay, so it took me a while to get this picture up, but I just want to show you what the land looks like. I don't know if you've seen any pictures of the Super Nintendo Land.
Yeah, not the actual land itself, but I know we showed the map of what they wanted it to be or something like that. Really cool though. Very very accurate to the canon.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get some of the food. Oh, they actually have a map of the whole entire land. It looks really small right now, but originally in the concepts they had like a picture.
Like 4 lands, right?
Yeah. In the original picture, it looks like they had Legend of Zelda in there too, but I guess they took it out. I don't know if they're gonna add that or not. No, Nintendo owns that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that some of the descriptions I heard was that it's Legoland, but for Nintendo.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's the actual layout. So there's Koopa's Castle. There's Yoshi's Island. Well, I don't think it's island. I think it's just land. But it's a very kiddie ride. You get to ride one of the colored Yoshis, and they just take you around the whole land so you can see what's going on. And then there's like a picture spot, kind of like a kiddie area for kids to hang out. There's a secret maze that you can go into. And then
that's definitely smaller than the initial picture we saw, the concept map. So that just shows you how much they want to grow it. This is probably like, what, one third, 1/4 of what the size that they want it to be.
Yeah. Okay, this is really cool, dude. I'm gonna see if I can get this picture up. These are some of the food items that are inside of this area. It looks cool. It looks good. And it's something that I would probably like to eat.
If it's a pixelated hot dog, I'm signing off.
Okay, so the first one...
You're like, no picture.
The first one here... let me see. Sorry. Is that what it is? Okay, let's start with this one. So this right here, it's a pizza bowl.
Upside down pizza?
Yeah. So inside, it's a pizza filling. So for our audio listeners, this is basically a regular mushroom that you would eat in Super Mario.
Pizza pie.
Yeah. But it looks like a pie. Yeah.
I'm guessing the bottom part is solid, whatever it is, plastic or whatever it is, and the mushroom part is the pizza crust, kind of nicely rounded pizza crust.
Yeah. And then
I wonder if you flip it upside down to serve it. Like, do you just like flip it upside down and then take off the plastic part?
Yeah, probably. So this is a piranha plant salad or something like that.
Oh god, if that's more than $10, it's a ripoff.
Yeah, it is.
It's like a half salad.
Yeah, this one's pretty cool.
Let me see what it is. I'm assuming a dessert because that looks like whipped cream.
Yeah, this is a tiramisu block. It's the question mark block. And inside is tiramisu. And then at the very top, it has a little button. I think that's probably like a white chocolate button. And it's a picture of a red mushroom, which gives you power-ups. And you could see they have like a raspberry puree on the side or something for decoration and some extra flavor.
Very grammable.
Yeah, and then this is probably something that you would like, because I know you're a burger guy. They have this one right here. It is the Mario Bacon Cheeseburger.
But that's got just a little burger with the mushroom bun.
Yeah, but it's got a little Mario hat attached to the very top there. So.
Okay, that's legit.
Yeah.
That probably out of all probably the least imaginative one, but that's still fun though.
Yeah. So when Nintendoland comes to the US, I know that they're going to have in Hollywood, and they're also going to have the Orlando one. I know that the Orlando one will be a lot bigger because they might add some extra attractions. So I'm excited for that because we have a lot of land here. And when I told you they're opening Epic Worlds, they're going to have a Nintendoland there. So kind of excited.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how big the one in Hollywood is going to be, because I really don't know how they keep building out Orlando. Not Orlando. Keep building out Universal in Hollywood.
Yeah, well, they already got rid of the Gibson Theater. I think they got rid of some of the sound stages. So, yeah.
Okay, I was like, Gibson Theater wouldn't make that much room, but okay, sound stages, yeah, those take up space. Mm-hmm. All right, Anton. And for our last headline news here, Cloverfield is getting a sequel. Writer Joe Barton, who's the showrunner for Gotham, and of course producing is J.J. Abrams, is going to make a direct sequel to the 2008 original. The only real detail that we have is, besides that it's going to be a sequel, is that it's not necessarily going to be found footage. It's going to be an actual movie, which I can't wait, and I want to see if they link the other movies together.
Yeah, because I think it's a cool concept of what they were doing, but I think it's a little bit of a big mess for people who don't even know what the last one was about, like the space one. That was so weird.
Yeah, the space. And it's funny because I rewatched it again. Why did I rewatch it? I don't know what I was doing, but I went to it like halfway again. I was kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this. Mm-hmm. Huh. I don't remember this part. Oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, even rewatch it again. The space one is just so many questions still, and it's still so frustrating. Around the end, I like the first one, the 2008 one, because it was just so different. The marketing around it was so unique and very viral. I think it was one of the first viral like marketing tactics that was used for
you really didn't know what you were getting yourself into. So I think the element of surprise made the movie more enjoyable.
Oh my god! Probably the first time I saw people like tearing down a trailer and trying to get details of what it is. Remember people like trying to replay audio and do like audio cleanup for some of the dialogue. People were saying, oh, the monster's a lion. Look, you right here. It says, it's a lion. It's huge, or something like that. And people, no, it's saying it's alive. It's huge. But I think my favorite one is the Cloverfield Lane with was it Elizabeth Mary Elizabeth Winstead?
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth, there you go. Because that was just so tense. It was a great for it being filmed essentially in 2 rooms.
Yeah,
it was a lot of chemistry and a lot of tension. It's great.
John Goodman, such an amazing performance in that movie.
John Goodman he always can play the gentle giant if he wanted to, but he has so much range, and I think it's kind of weird and fun when he plays an asshole, when he plays like a badass, because it's different.
The Big Lebowski.
Big Lebowski. Was it not Band of Brothers? Freaking anyway, George Clooney, the World War II movie. Monuments Men.
Mm-hmm,
He played
mm-hmm,
kind of like a World War II hero.
mm-hmm.
All right, Anton, you ready to get into streaming?
All right, let's get into streaming.
All right. First up, a little bit of news here. So we are gonna get Wakanda series on Disney Plus, directed by Ryan Coogler, who did the first Black Panther and is slated to be the director for the second Black Panther movie. No release date yet, but we know that Black Panther's 2 is scheduled for summer of 2022, so next July. So I'm assuming they're gonna try to scramble together something before then. My theory is that they're gonna take the opportunity to tell the story of what happened to T'Challa,
Mm-hmm.
and it transitioning to Shuri
Yeah.
being the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that'd be the easiest way to do it. It's both giving some recognition to Chadwick Boseman, so it's not like a throwaway mention of him being killed off or something happening to him.
So the thing that I'm trying to understand is Ryan Coogler said that he's not rewriting the script. Whatever the script is, the script is the way it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's kind of supporting my point here. Yeah. I think they want this is going to serve as the transition for T'Challa leaving, giving Chadwick Boseman the time and recognition. It's not just a throwaway line of what happened to him off screen,
mm-hmm.
but it's also not them rewriting a script and stretching out throughout the movie the death of T'Challa.
Mm-hmm.
So now they can just sub in Shuri for the Chadwick Boseman roles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory.
Yeah, I'm with you. It sounds more reasonable. It sounds like, that's something that they're gonna do. Yeah, kind of excited to see like a Wakanda series. I'm already hooked with this WandaVision, and we're getting Falcon and the Winter Soldier in the next couple weeks.
Get a teaser of. Yeah, we did another teaser of during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This just reminds me of those the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Just reminds me of those old like 80s buddy cop movies where they pair together two partners that are complete opposites, but they must join forces and find common ground to beat the bad guy, which is Baron Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. It just one after another, because I think we have another 4 episodes left in WandaVision.
Yes.
Which will put us into March, just in time for the series to pick up.
All right. So let's get into WandaVision here. So episode 4 and 5. You just want to skip to 5? Because 4... 4 in general, for me, I felt like Darcy is killing it. Her character is totally killing it.
I love that they brought back Darcy, because I felt she was such a hilarious character. Yeah. Probably the only real character I loved in the first Thor. I didn't really love Thor in that one. I thought it was going to... Agent Coulson. All right. Kind of another... him teasing the next movie. Natalie Portman, I love her as an actress. Didn't really connect with her as a character. But Darcy was great in the movie. But back to episode 4, it's called "We Interrupted This Program." I kind of love-hate that they did this. One is they were just literally repeating the questions that the audience have, so maybe just trying to level set to reassure the audience, we know you have these questions, we're gonna get to them. And the very beginning, so we know what happened to Monica Rambo, where she's been.
Yeah.
She was snapped away and she was brought back. During that time, Maria Rambo, who is Captain Marvel's best friend, passes away from cancer. Something that I had a random thought about, because Maria Rambo passes away from cancer. She had cancer, she beat it. The snap happens. 2 years later, the cancer comes back and she passes away. 3 years later after that, her daughter comes back, or gets what's it called, the blip?
Yeah, the blip.
She gets blip back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that they let us see the blip. Yeah, because
it puts you in perspective where we are in the story.
Because when we saw it in Spider-Man, it felt like, oh, okay, that's...
It was so rushed.
Yeah,
I think we saw the hilarious moments, like the marching band.
It was
popping
funny
up in the middle of a basketball game.
Yeah. That was the funny version. Now this is the more emotional. Like, oh yeah, shit's getting real.
And it was an emotional moment because I mean I was trying to put myself in Monica's shoes, and it's like, one moment you are next to your mother's bed, kind of celebrating that she survived, cancer, and to you the next moment later, they passed away from cancer again, or they passed away from cancer. Like it was a very, from a super high moment to like a gut punch moment from her perspective. So I felt like, damn, that must really suck. But the question I have is, do you think Maria Rambeau's cancer was caused by Captain Marvel because of her powers? Captain Marvel's power comes from a source of radiation. So all that close proximity to Captain Marvel, to the engine they were developing, developed by Marvel during all this time, the secret aircraft design and stuff like that. Do you think that was caused by it? Like, is there any connection?
Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense because I think so, because her daughter didn't really want to talk about Captain Marvel at all.
Yeah, in episode 5, there's a moment where they mention Captain Marvel, and she kind of like shakes it off.
Let's not talk about this right now.
Yeah, exactly. She has some anger. So I'm like, is there a connection here? Did Captain Marvel inadvertently cause cancer for her best friend?
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much the highlights of episode 4. All right, on the fun one that you've been waiting for, episode 5, on a very special episode.
Okay, so I guess I just want to clear one more thing in episode 4. I really want to go to 5. I think we'll just go to 5. So episode 5.
You gotta be curious.
So episode 5. No, I'm gonna go back to episode 4. I think they did a really good job of like giving us insight of who was watching. Because for the longest time, like 3 episodes, we didn't know who was watching Wanda. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to have like a lot of like fun jokes, even though it was a very serious episode. I like the fun jokes from Jimmy Woo and Darcy. The whole Avengers coming together, or 2 Avengers in a sitcom. That's totally like
but which is funny because they're kind of not just making fun of WandaVision, but they're also going to make fun of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But something else that I didn't mention in episode 4 is I love how quickly the audience grew attached to Randall Park's character Jimmy Woo, because we really haven't seen him since Ant-Man 2.
Yeah, we
he was the agent that was keeping tabs on Ant-Man to making sure he was staying under house arrest. And the last we saw him, he was trying to master his little trick of making the card reappear and disappear. And then we find out in this episode he mastered it, and that's how he introduced himself to Monica Rambeau. Was like, here,
no,
Jimmy
you
Woo. Agent Jimmy Woo, boom. But yeah, like it's funny because now people want some of the memes I've been seeing to like Jimmy Woo's like movie poster kind of thing, and somebody tweeted on Twitter saying, "Can we please get a Jimmy Woo series of him in the FBI trying to solve Marvel-related cases similar to X-Files in the Marvel universe?"
It's being pitched, which is kind of cool.
I'd be down. I mean, it's FBI, so there's not really, it's not SWORD, it's not SHIELD. They're kind of just normal law enforcement trying to deal with this weirdness of the superhero universe.
All right, so episode 5, man. Episode 5 is starting to get real.
Yeah.
Everything that is happening, I think.
So episode 5,
yeah.
Vision starts to get his suspicions confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what's going on with he wiped, not wiped, but he cleared up somebody's mind to be able to get a glimpse of their real personality from being suppressed. And it's kind of creepy. It's the person was pretty much being held hostage. That's what they're, the fear, the anxiousness there, very very unsettling. But then Vision figures like, you know what, it's kind of best to let him play along for now, and then kind of puts him back to the state he was in, and we're back to the sitcom world with the canned
Full
laughter
House,
from the audience.
Full House spinoff.
Yeah, and it's weird. And then we have like them doing the internet now. They're dialing the dial-up connection for the emails and stuff like that. The crappy early 80s or the mid 80s jokes about the internet, saying like, email, but what am I supposed to do with my letter opener now?
So anyways, I think the whole episode, they were just trying to transition into that the storyline where their shit's gonna get real soon. And I think throughout this whole episode, Vision is starting to understand, like, whoa, there's something more going on here.
There's something wrong.
Yeah, and it seems like Wanda is slowly getting to a point where she can't control everything anymore. She's
getting frustrated based on everything that's going on. And she kind of vents saying like, oh, you think I'm controlling everything? You think I'm controlling, when the neighbor goes to work on their car, when they go walk their dog, you think I'm controlling everything? Like, you can kind of tell, like, yes, bitch, you are controlling all this, and you can tell that you're getting tired.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's pretty much the whole entire episode. Is it's building up to something, and fast forwarding to all the way to the very end when things were going off script, as they would say for this part. Yeah. When you thought, go ahead.
Well, okay. So, and are you alluding to the recasting?
The recasting.
Is that referencing? Because I want to make sure before I
no.
Before I start talking.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not going to talk about the recasting because that doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Well, then let me explain then.
Okay.
Okay. So as you mentioned in the beginning of the episode, we start to get Wanda getting questions about her controlling every little aspect of the world. So I think that kind of calls internally some conflict in her, saying like, maybe I am, manipulating, because Vision is also part of this illusion. He has no idea what's happened to him in the past. Like it seems like she's blocking out his memory, if it's even the same Vision we know. Because even he says he doesn't remember anything before being in this world with her. And then as their kids, who just keep having their growth spurts, find a dog in the beginning of the episode, and 2/3 of the episode the dog dies, the kids start to question, well, my mom has the power to bring back people from the dead. And Wanda's kind of fine saying, no, I don't. It's like, yeah, you're powerful, you can bring back people from the dead. And she goes, no, I can't. Who told you that? So she's kind of questioning whether she should or shouldn't bring back people from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to the end, where now they're getting questions. She's getting questions about her brother, Quicksilver, Petra.
Petra.
I always
just Petra. Call him Peter.
Peter. I know. That's what bugs me about this.
Yeah.
Whether, why isn't he here? Like, he's dead too. Why isn't he here? So I think there is a conflict internally between her, of her wanting her brother back, but her also knowing her brother is dead. And then in that moment of that conflict, there's a knock on the door, and it's her brother, but not the brother we know. Mm-hmm. So I think I think she tapped into another universe where he's still alive. Yeah. And that was like her subconscious kind of what you call it, not compensating, but compromising. There we go, compromising to bring her brother back.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where it ended, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you buy my theory or no?
Yeah. That's part of what I was thinking. But I kind of see the bigger picture. I don't know if you see this or not. But reading some things on the internet kind of got me thinking more about something that nobody talked about yet.
How Agnes chooses when she notices and doesn't notice things.
No. Well, yes and no. Yeah. Well, that's part of it. So here's my whole theory. Spoiler alert. If this happens, cool. So before this all happened, I think Agnes was kind of the influencer into Wanda choosing to bring back Vision. And in order to bring back Vision, I think Agnes probably told Wanda she would have to deal with the devil. She would have to make a deal with the devil in order to get Vision back. And what happened was she had to open portals. And when she opens portals, what comes out? Demons. And if we're talking about like witchcraft and dark arts and stuff like that, when you open doors or portals, demons can cross to the other side. And I mean, we're talking about like the demon portal, witchcraft. And you know, in modern days, we watch a lot of like ghost shows, so this stuff happens all the time. So implement it into this. So when the devil comes over, we get Mephisto, which is a character that is heavily referenced in a lot of like Marvel stuff.
Well, yeah, in the comic books, it's where Wanda got her powers from, right? Mephisto left a piece of himself in this dimension, and that's where Wanda absorbed that and had got her powers.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, Agnes is telling her, if you want to bring Vision back, you have to make a deal with the devil. So I guess she said, okay. And then I guess she goes to Sword to get Vision's body, and she tries to put them together. And then she made a deal with the devil. And then I don't know what the deal with the devil was. I think it was to bring the devil into reality, into physical form,
which would fit in with their kids, like some sort of thing. And something I kind of been toying around with too is there always seems to be a throwaway creature in every episode. So we've had, in the first episode it was a lobster. And I think in the second episode it was the stork. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, the stork.
And then in this last episode there was the puppy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's always something. So I'm like, I wonder if, because and one of the things that's always been toted in the posters is that the devil's in the details.
Yeah. So here's what I think happens next. Because she made a deal with the devil, she knew what she had to do. She's an Avenger. She protects people. And in order to protect people, she built a barrier. And when she built that barrier, which is called the Hex, she kept everything out. And she had so much power, which Agnes probably underestimated. She was able to control everything that's inside of that Hex. And because of that, she's able to live her happy life with Vision.
Yeah.
And she
she built a firewall when executing some questionable program.
Yeah. So she got what she wanted, but at the same time, in order to have what she wants and protect the people that she loves outside of the bubble, she has to take control over everything, including Agnes. And I'm pretty
quarantine?
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure Agnes is a pretty powerful witch too. but not as powerful as Wanda.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be too surprising because I mean, I don't know what was his name, Jimmy Woo. He went to the reason he was involved in episode 4 was because he was there to investigate a missing persons, and that's when he said it's actually a missing town. So who was he going to check up on? Who was he trying to keep tabs on or whatever, and that led him to his discovery? So it's possible that, Agnes, who is that neighbor that seems to know too much, but it's also kind of knowingly playing along, plays a bigger role in that. I do think that, while Wanda is, controlling this world or created this world, there seems to be something else kind of setting her up. And I'm kind of waiting for the kids, or one or both the kids, to be the big twist at the end that, either backfires on her, whatever it is, but those kids came from somewhere.
Yeah, they're real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the thing that kind of points out that, she's not trying to kill anybody. She's happy the way she is. She wants to keep things the way it is that she put Rambo back where she came from. And she didn't really kill her.
I love that Rambo called her out on that too, saying like, you're not trying to hurt me. You're not trying to do anything like that. You could have killed me if you wanted to.
Yeah. So So at the end of the day, I think she's just trying to live her life how she wants it to be, and I think she knew that she wouldn't be able to make it last. I don't know. I think she probably wanted to last, but with things going the way it is, I don't think it's gonna last. But here's what I think is going to happen. I think because of the portals that she opened, I'm pretty sure she opened a lot of different portals and doors or whatever, because the stuff that's coming out of these portals, she probably had to pull a lot of strings in order to make this happen, because it sounds more complicated than it really is. She probably sold her, she made a deal with the devil, but the devil probably had to open up other portals to bring other dimensions, to bring other creatures over. And I think Mephisto's going to play a really big thing in Doctor Strange 2, because, I have a feeling it's going to be a really big, chaotic, problem that I think Doctor Strange is trying to close the portal. He's trying to keep peace, so he's trying to put everything back where they belong. I mean, we already know Dormammu is kind of like that dimensional.
He's a god out of time.
Yeah. So having something like that, but like more sophisticated because of so many portals being open, it's going to be hard to close up. So I think that's where Doctor Strange is going to work with Wanda, try to get everything back to normal. And it's kind of interesting. Someone pointed this out online. They're like, this is actually happening during the time of Spider-Man Far From Home. Because it happened right after the blip, right?
Yeah,
I think this is like 2 or 3 weeks after the blip. Yeah, so the crazy
they mention he's from another Mysterio's from another dimension. That's the excuse he used, right?
Yeah. So here's another thing, like when Spider-Man was like, oh, why don't you have someone take care of Mysterio? Like I'm on vacation, I'm with the school. What about Doctor Strange? Why don't you call him? And they're like, oh, not available. And I think Doctor Strange is probably helping Wanda, trying to put everything back to normal.
No, but that is something that caught my attention in Spider-Man 3 when Mysterio's explanation for how he knows everything's gonna happen is because he says he came from another dimension where this has already happened, and he's trying to protect our dimension. Nobody really questions it.
Yeah, and here's what I think is even more crazier. all this portal stuff that's opening and everything, it's affecting Spider-Man 3 as well. And I think that's why we're getting like the Hobgoblin coming back, which is Willem
And
Dafoe.
also why people are saying at the end of Spider-Man 3 is proof that he's in another dimension or an alternate universe.
Yeah. So all
Because
of this stuff,
we have
I
a
think,
podcasting J. Jonah Jameson.
yeah. So I think this right here, this show is a platform to start this whole different phase of like something bigger, like dimensions.
The next phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next phase of Marvel. No, but all the more reason why I don't think the recasting is temporary. I think it is permanent. As you know, not maybe the actor doesn't stay around, but it's established that he is now the MCU canon, and also in a way to bring in other characters now, from the X-Men or from any other of the Fox properties over, but they can also pick and choose which actors they make deal with. Because if they're able to say make a deal with, and I'm blanking out on the actor's name that plays this the Fox version of Quicksilver, but if they can make a deal with them, cool.
Something Evans.
I don't remember what it was. But if they can, no, if they can make a deal with him, but they can't make a deal with some of the other Fox X-Men, they can just recast and just say that they're from an alternate dimension. They can kind of pick and choose the cast they want.
Sorry, I have it backwards. It's Evan Peters.
There we go. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see what they do with this. I can't wait. I really hope, at least Ryan Reynolds is able to join the MCU for a couple movies before he gets played out or he gets too big for his contracts.
Wait, he's married to Emma Roberts?
Who? Peter Evans?
Yeah.
Or Evan Peters?
Yeah. It says partner, Emma Roberts. Wow, okay. Oh, she had a kid. Okay. She even had a kid with him, too. Wow.
Huh. Yeah, I did not know that. But yeah, dude, I really love this series, and I love that they're really taking advantage of the entire MCU and then some, and not just trying to stick into their little show bubble. So we'll see what they do with this, how it finishes up on the next 2 or 3 episodes, and how we get into the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
So what I said so far, did you think about that far? I thought really far.
I know that there's more going on. I don't know if I thought about it as far as you did, but I know that I'm not buying that this is all just Wanda. I think she is controlling, trying to keep things normal, but we don't know why she's trying to keep it normal. And I also am very, very suspicious of Agnes because she seems to be the only other actor besides the neighbor that is aware of what's going on. And understands. They're not kind of like Vision's coworker drones that are just playing a bit. Agnes is actually aware. She knows she's in some type of show. There's a moment where
I think she knows, but she has to play her part because Wanda's controlling. Yeah,
and I wonder that's part of the deal they made, because she's like, do you want me to take the kid? Like, what do you want to do? Do you want me to take from the top? What? Like, what are you talking about? Do you want me to take? And it's something that it's only between Agnes and Wanda, because Vision has no idea what just happened. Like, to him it's oblivious. All he knows is something weird happened, but he, it doesn't match up. And as I'm talking right now, Vision is digital, right? He's a computer. I wonder if this is to stream the information to Vision. The whole television thing is to stream the information to Vision.
No, it's Wanda's powers have those signals.
So it just happens to line up with television. How that's what Darcy was trying to explain.
Yeah.
All right. Random thought. All right. Let's see here. I think that's all I wanted to cover, right? Anything else with this one?
Yeah, I think we just predicted the whole phase.
We nailed it.
Yeah.
We
The
nailed
whole
we nailed
phase. Yeah.
we nailed WandaVision, and we predicted the Wakanda series before it even came out. All right, that's on. What's Earwig and the Witch?
Okay, so Earwig and the Witch. It is a new Studio Ghibli movie. This time around, it is directed and created by Hayao Miyazaki's son, and we're a big fan of his work for a very long time. Like he's done Spirited Away, he's done Ponyo, he's done Kiki's Delivery Service, Howl's Moving Castle, and the list goes on. So this is his son's first movie, actually probably first or second, I can't remember. But it's Studio Ghibli's first 3D animated film. They've always done hand-drawn anime style, but this is their first 3D animated movie. And I don't know if you've seen the trailer yet, but it looked really good. Mm-hmm. It looked really amazing. I like the art style. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that even though it is CGI, it is very Studio Ghibli. The art is
anime,
very Studio Ghibli somehow.
Yeah, the anime look. Yeah. So I was really excited to see this movie. I wanted something that is kind of like Spirited Away, or Kiki's Delivery Service, because we grew up on that stuff. So, yeah, dude, my kid freaking loves it. He was laughing, and this is probably one of the first movies that he's like really focused on in a long time. I guess he loves the characters. I find it a little dark, but he loves it. It's PG.
To him, it's just animated.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, Earwig and the Witch. It focuses on a little girl. She is in an orphanage, but at the very beginning of the movie, we find that the mother is being chased by 12 witches, and that is the reason why she left her daughter at the orphanage. And she even left a little note saying that she'll come back for her, but don't know when. But the orphanage never really told the little girl that her mom's a witch or anything like that. So they even changed her name too. Her name is Earwig, but then the orphanage gave her a regular name, which is Erica Wig. Yeah, so while she was growing up in this orphanage, she's trying to understand, like, I want to be adopted. But she never really gets a chance. She doesn't understand why. So anyways, just to summarize the plot line, she's living at... she got adopted, and she's living at this house, and she's kind of a slave at this house. Kind of like a Cinderella story. But it's really not. It's just an adventure. Okay, so anyways, Airwake and the Witch. The story was getting really interesting. I love the characters, really got into it, and then the movie just falls flat. So flat. The ending is like, wait, the movie's over already? Wait, this doesn't make any sense. How's this the end of... What's going on? Like, it's just a big cliffhanger. Imagine like you're watching a movie and you get to the very edge of the movie where it's like, oh my God, here's the good part. Oh my God, what's going to happen next? The movie just ends right there.
And it's funny because the way you describe the story, it's very Studio Ghibli. It is not quite for kids, but it's also for kids.
Yeah.
It has like a deeper tone than what is traditionally for kids, and that's what makes Studio Ghibli such a, I don't even know what's the right term, but ageable type of movies where you can watch it as a kid and love it, and then watch it as an adult and appreciate it more.
Yeah, that's why those are classics.
Yeah.
I don't think this movie falls into that. I mean, it's fun to watch if you have time to watch it. Everything about it, the story, where it's going was good. The character development was good. But man, that that ending, it just felt like they wrote the whole entire story. Like they had the whole outline of what the movie is going to be about, and then they probably just fell short and just ended it. It's like COVID happened and then they just stopped.
I feel like we had the same moment, or you had the same moment I did when finishing the Handmaid's Tale novel.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, but ending aside, well, I guess ending included, what would you give this out of 5?
I give it a 1.5.
And I'm guessing is that 1 just because it's Studio Ghibli? Like they get that 1 just because automatically?
1, they get 1 because I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the build up, and then the half is just for effort. Effort just to get the movie out. Yeah,
but they built up credibility. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Let's get really quick into our next segment, books.
Okay, let's get into books.
All right, so we talked about the last 2 episodes that we were gonna get into Star Wars: The High Republic. This is the first of the, I think, 3 books that will be coming out for this series, to really tell the tale of, well, what the Jedi Order was several hundred years before the trilogies that we know, the Skywalker trilogies that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I read the first 100 so pages. I think you said you read, what, 3 chapters around there?
Yeah. 3 chapters.
Yeah, so we're not going to get too
I think I was like at 1.5 hours to impact.
Yeah. So we're not going to get too into the details or full review. This is more of our impressions so far of the book. I guess the setup is there has been a disaster in space, and it is causing it's heading. The disaster or the event is heading towards an apocalyptic or world-ending event for a farming planet, and it's nearby moons in that system. And the Jedi Order sends out one of its ships called the Third Horizon to go assist the planet in evacuations and to investigate what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss anything there? Making sure I captured it right.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah, so one of the main characters that we get introduced to in this one is Master Jedi, and I'll make sure I get her name right. Oh my god, I just had her name here. Avar Kriss. She's kind of like one of the main Jedi Masters right now. She's very powerful. They describe how certain Jedis have certain abilities beyond just Force wielding, but there's certain special connections to the Force. With her, she has the ability to enhance other Jedis' connection with the Force. So when she's around, think of it as a network booster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go to the StarWars.com databank and then get to the pictures of the characters, because there's so many. That's the thing I don't like about this book, is they're introducing so many characters, and I'm trying to keep track of every single one of them.
I know, and it's hard. Trust me, dude. I'm 100 pages in, and I can't keep track of not just all the Jedi, but also all of their Padawan that are also associated, and also the non-Force wielding characters that are involved in this book.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Master Jedi, or sorry, the technician Kevon Tar, who's one of the people that's from the planet that's about to, get possibly destroyed. Loden Greatstorm, who is one of the Jedi Masters involved with his Padawan Bell Zedifar, if I pronounce their names. And there are more characters that are introduced. Anton, first couple pages in, what's your impression of the world that they're in right now?
Okay, so I understand that it's during this time where the Jedi are trying to build like outposts.
Yes.
And trying to find a way to keep peace as much as they could. and they're trying to reach the far ends of the galaxy. And it looks like they're running into one of the main problems is that there are people out there who don't believe in the Republic. And man, like I understand that people are trying to make a living, and the Jedi is doing everything that they can to let these people live in peace. But it looks like people
it's just a lot of territory.
Yeah, there's a lot of territory, and people can't seem to run away from chaos. It just happens when you don't want it to.
Yeah, the way they set it up in the book is, they have Coruscant, who's the center of the Republic. It's very densely populated, very well established. Then you have the inner planets that are near it. Same thing, very wealthy, heavily populated areas. Then you have like the mid-range planets that are slightly less populated, but it's still very established. It's a hospitable area. They're still pretty connected to the inner planets. The outer planets, or the outer rings of the planets, that is kind of like a Wild West. It's think of not Civil War, but say the early 1800s in the United States. The outer ring is California. People are, they have to trek to go out there. And it's very far out. And then once you're out there, you are pretty much on your own. You can only depend on your neighbors. The Jedi kind of work as the deputies, or the federal agents that are trying to keep peace, go wherever they can to help. But it's just a lot of land, and even though there are thousands of Jedis, it's just they just can't they can't police everything. They can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed what they're doing so far with the book. The only thing is that I felt like it's going at a pace where they're trying to cram everything into one chapter, so you could see like the whole what's going on in this section, and then what's going on in this section, and there's no into particular main characters to focus on in the story. I don't know if they're going to focus on only one or two characters. I know that they all intertwine to each other at some point, where they connect to each other.
So I'll tell you this right now. They don't fully focus on one character. Like I said, I'm still trying to get used to the names and who they're focusing on. But I will tell you that the pace of the book picks up.
Okay.
100 plus pages, and I'm barely at the event.
Wow. Okay.
And I guess the best way to describe it to you is the pace is kind of like a metronome, where it's
yeah.
And then what happens is every chapter it goes faster and faster and faster. Pretty much, it got to the point where you're jumping, 10 minutes between each one.
Yeah.
Like it goes bam, 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 because the things about to happen, and it's going, back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
It's, I agree with you. When I was at the spot you were at, I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? But the more I read, the more I was like, this is a very exciting book. This is a very fast-paced book, and I love the way they're telling the story. That being said, I think I'm at the part where they're going to pivot or do something different, and I'm kind of curious to see if I still continue to enjoy the book. But I think I can promise you're going to enjoy the first 100 pages.
Okay, so that's good. Here's the thing that I do like. I like that they actually draw the concept art for all the characters that are introduced, as kind of like the main leads for each of those little stories, or leading up to the event. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but our Chris looks like a regular. She looks more like a princess, but I mean, she kind of looks badass. But I like how they have like alternate costumes for her, so you could see like what she looks like as a hooded Jedi, and then without the hood. It's kind of cool.
Well, you need to have the alternate looks.
Yeah.
They really embrace the looks of these edits, and it's funny because the ones that they're showing here is, and they explain it in part of the book too, that the Jedis have different outfits. They have their kind of ceremonial robes, which are very not flashy, but not really made for battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have their more slimmed down tunics that are, and I think those are the ones we mainly see in the Star Wars, the prequels.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like more, they're wearing their boots, they're wearing pants kind of thing. Their shirts or their tunics are very form fitting or more tighter. They're not as loose.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to the ones in this concept art, where this looks very ceremonial. This looks very like, a high priest kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, so I'm kind of excited to read more and see where you're at. Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting because I know that once we're done with this book, there's gonna be a follow up to it in about another month. So really like what they're doing here. They're giving us content to not only Disney Plus, but side stuff that actually really, really high quality stories that are being told in different forms.
Yeah.
So kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. And also really quick, they've already done the pre-orders for the second book for this one. I think it's coming out in July.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a part that I want to tell you about, but I'm like, no, I'll let him discover it. I'll just wait for that text from you when they say, did they just say?
All right.
It's on. If people want to support our High Republic time,
they can support the High Republic time of our era by going. Yeah.
I wanted to say our High podcast, but I'm like, no, that's different. That's a different. That's a different market.
All right. So they can go to our website at www.the2oc.com and maybe buy some stickers, t-shirts, maybe a hat. And if there was something that we talked about on the show or any of our show notes, any of the links takes anybody to Amazon and gives us a little kickback. So that's always a good thing. Okay.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I'm a little distracted.
Your turn.
You can also follow us on social media at the 2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. That's where you'll see some of the latest news stories we're covering, things as they come up, and also some funny memes or videos that we find online. Nice. And you can also reach out to us there and let us know. Slide into our DMs. If DMs aren't your thing, you can email us at mail@the2oc.com and tell us your thoughts on the High Republic.
Okay. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle player, or MP3 player. And today, we would probably recommend Star Wars: The High Republic. If what is the name of the book? It is
Star Wars:
Light of the Jedi.
Oh,
so,
that's right.
Highly recommend getting that if you don't have the actual physical book. The audio is also as good as well. I did listen to a little bit of it, and they actually put like sound effects in the background, so you actually hear like some pretty cool stuff. So highly recommend it, and I don't know if there's anything else you recommend, but that's pretty much it.
No, that's what I was going to recommend, because I think even after I finish the book, I want to listen to the audio version of it, because I want to hear the voices. There's a lot of high tense moments in here that I would want to see how well the actors portray it.
Yeah, I think Mark Thompson, who is the narrator of this whole book, he does a really good job of making each character's voice very different. He's known for doing some of the other audiobooks too, so highly recommend listening to it. He's actually really good. Okay.
Can I just say how much I hated the first chapter?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I finished the chapter, I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, that's on. Is that everything?
Yeah, that should be it.
All right. For the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duong. See you guys.
Yep.
Okay, I hope, man,